Our team had arrived on Centaurus 3 to investigate sudden gravitational anomalies that had destabilized nearby trade routes. The locals were polite but uneasy. Something was happening beneath their surface, quite literally, and they didn't want outsiders poking around. Kyra wasn't officially assigned to us. She had appeared on the first day of planetary orientation, quietly listening to our briefing before slipping away into the wilderness. No one questioned her. The Zenthari had the right to observe any off-world activity involving their planet. But she kept showing up. One day outside the survey dome. Another time along the ridge. Sometimes closer than I expected. She was always watching. Not in a predatory way, more like she was measuring us, waiting for a cue, deciding whether we were worthy of her trust. After the ridge incident, she avoided me for 2 days. Then, late on the third evening, I heard a soft knock on the metallic panel of my temporary quarters. When I opened the door, she stood there, cloak wrapped around her like a shield. The faint glow of her markings illuminated the hallway. "Walk with me," she said quietly. "There is something you need to know." I followed her through the silent settlement until we reached an ancient Zenthari shrine carved from obsidian stone. Each pillar was etched with symbols of the old stars. "This," she said, placing a hand on a glowing rune, "is where our ancestors first recorded an event like the one you seek." I raised a brow. "Gravitational anomalies?" She nodded, and then the floor trembled. A deep, rumbling pulse reverberated through the ground, making dust dance across the stone tiles. A fluctuation. I activated my scanner. "The anomaly is below us?" "It's not a natural phenomenon," Kyra said. "It is alive." The temperature dropped a few degrees. "What do you mean alive?" I asked. She pressed her palm to the central stone, and it shifted, revealing a spiraling descent into glowing tunnels. "You will see." Middle, the heart of Zentharus. The tunnels beneath the shrine pulsed with slow, rhythmic waves of light. It felt like walking through the arteries of a massive sleeping creature. As we descended, Cairo explained, "My people were not born on this planet. We were created, grown from the last breath of the Star Weavers, beings who shaped galaxies with their voices. When their power waned, they sealed the remnants of their energy deep beneath the worlds they touched. And these gravitational anomalies? Signs that the remnant core is awakening." "Awakening," I repeated. "Is that good or bad?" She grimaced. "Both." We reached a cavern so vast it stretched beyond the reach of our lanterns. At its center floated a colossal crystalline sphere, rotating slowly within an energy field. My scanner struggled to comprehend it. "This thing is generating gravitational waves strong enough to distort nearby trade routes," I muttered. "But why now?" "That is why I wanted you to come," Kyra said. "Because you may have triggered it." I froze. "Me?" "When you arrived here, your ship's warp signature resonated with the core. It sensed another living mind attuned to stellar frequencies." "Kyra," I said carefully, "I'm just a survey captain. I don't have any kind of stellar frequency mind." "You do," she said simply. "You just do not know it." Before I could protest, the crystalline sphere pulsed. The cavern shook. Cracks formed in the outer shell of the sphere, releasing dazzling threads of energy. Kyra grabbed my hand. "We must leave, now." We ran through the tunnels as the ground quaked violently. Dust rained down, lights flickered, and walls shifted like the planet itself was breathing unevenly. "What happens if it wakes fully?" I shouted. "The planet will collapse." "Perfect." We reached the surface just as a shockwave rippled outward from the shrine, blowing apart several stone pillars. Kyra steadied herself, eyes wide with panic. "This is worse than I thought," she whispered. What do we do? We need to stop the awakening. And only one being can do that now. Let me guess. I sighed. Me. She nodded. You. Climax. The awakening core. We returned the next day with an emergency team, but Kyra stopped them at the tunnel entrance. No one else can go with us, she insisted. The core responds to Orion and Orion alone. My crew hesitated, but the tremors worsening across the region made them reluctantly step back. When it was just the two of us again, Kyra turned toward me, her expression intense. I need you to trust me, she said. I already do. Her ears flushed slightly, but not in embarrassment. In warmth. We descended once more into the glowing depths. The core had grown brighter, burning with threads of golden white energy curling around it like miniature solar flares. It wants to meld with you, Kyra explained, to transfer its remaining consciousness. What happens to me afterward? She bit her lip. I don't know. That's not reassuring. It was never meant to awaken, she whispered. The Star Weavers designed it to slumber until their lineage returned. But they are gone, and now it seeks the closest match. You. She stepped forward, placing both hands on my shoulders. Orion, I brought you here because I believe you can survive it. And if I can't, her voice shook, then I will lose the first person who ever looked at me and saw beauty. My breath caught. Kyra, her ears flushed again, deep rose. Before I could answer, the cavern rumbled. The core flared violently, sending out spirals of gravitational distortion. Rocks lifted from the ground and hung suspended in midair, pulled toward the sphere. Go, Kyra urged. I stepped forward, forcing myself to look into the swirling mass of ancient energy. The sphere cracked open completely. A blinding rush of light engulfed me. Voices, echoing, layered, cosmic, flooded my head. Chosen successor, guardian. Pain and power surged through my chest. Images of dying stars. Collapsing worlds. The final heartbeat of the Star Weavers. Then silence. I collapsed, ending what I became. When I opened my eyes, the cavern was dark again. The core was gone, its energy extinguished, absorbed. Kyra knelt at my side, trembling. Orion, she whispered, can you hear me? I nodded weakly. Her face broke with visible relief. Her ears glowed a soft, warm pink. You survived, she breathed. So did the planet, I rasped. She helped me sit up. Something felt different inside me, lighter, yet infinitely heavier. The lingering echo of the Star Weavers hummed within my pulse, but the overwhelming energy had faded to a manageable whisper. You stopped it from tearing itself apart, Kyra said. You saved Xanthorus. She held my hand tightly, almost protectively. What happens now? I asked softly. She met my eyes, silver shimmering with emotion. Now, she said, you rest. And after that you stay. Stay. Her ears flushed again. I want you to, she admitted. You changed my world, literally. And she hesitated before whispering. You changed me. I smiled faintly. And what about you? She looked down, fingers curling around mine. I do not know where your path ends, but if you allow it, I want to walk beside you. I squeezed her hand back. I'd like that. Outside the cavern, the air was calm again, the tremors gone, the sky clear. Kyra walked close to me, close enough that her shoulder brushed mine. Her glowing markings dimmed softly in the evening light. Orion, she murmured. Yes. She stopped me again just like the first day. Her ears flushed that telltale warm rose. And she whispered, barely audible. When you told me I was beautiful, no one had ever said that to me. Not once in my life. But you meant it. I felt it. I did, I said gently. She exhaled shakily. Then say it again. I turned to her, brushing a strand of glowing hair behind her ear. Kyra, I said softly, you are beautiful. She stepped closer, forehead resting against mine. And you, she whispered, are the first human I've ever fallen for. The stars above shimmered, calm and stable. The planet breathed easy again. And somewhere deep inside me, the light of the star weavers settled into a quiet, peaceful glow. As her hand intertwined with mine, I knew this was not the end of the story. It was the beginning of ours.